Welcome back to B2B Campaign Smackdown. I'm Alexander Ferguson with TerraLeap.
Hey, and I'm Tim Parkin with the advisory board, and I'm so excited, Alex, to dive into another Smackdown here. And
Let's
today we're
do it.
talking about a LinkedIn influencer campaign,
Yes.
Winn.ai. Have you ever heard about Winn.ai before this?
I've never heard of it before until you brought this up as this influencer campaign they did. Can you
Yeah.
explain where did you come across it and what is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me share my screen here so we can take a look at it. I had not heard of Win.ai before, and one day on LinkedIn, just trolling around LinkedIn, saw all these people posting about an unboxing they received of this box from Win.ai, and I said, "What the heck is Win.ai, and how are all these people getting this cool box?" And some of the people I didn't know, but some of them I have heard of, people I follow, some big name people, and it was really cool. And it was interesting because it was all in the same day. So it was like in my feed that day, I just kept seeing
Timing.
Win.ai,
Boom,
Win.ai
boom,
over
boom,
and
boom,
over.
boom.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that was kind of the strength of this campaign. But let's just catch everybody up here quickly because I didn't know what Win.ai is or was. Um, it's this tool for salespeople, and it's, like Fireflies or Otter, these bots that join your meetings. It's kind of like that, but then it'll help you with figuring out the conversations you had with your prospects and updating your CRM with different sales insights and tasks and stuff like that. So pretty cool, capturing the data and helping you keep your CRM updated. As we know, as marketers, salespeople are terrible at keeping the CRM updated. So seems like a pretty cool thing, but I had never heard of it.
Me either until this came up. So it's always interesting. Okay, how do you get awareness? I think that's one issue, a challenge every marketer is facing. How do we get our ICP to know we exist?
Yes.
And it sounds like a cool tool. So what did they do? They mailed something to a bunch of influencers.
Yeah, here, let me close my messages here. They mailed this box to a bunch of people, and you can see here the guy's unboxing it. And the box had a bunch of stuff in it. So it had this card, you can see him reading here, that plays music. I'll spare the audience the music. And then it had a bunch of other stuff in it. It had some headphones, it had a little thing. We'll show you some different posts here. You can see there's the box. It says, "In sales, some moments are irreversible." It was a pretty cool tie-in to like getting this box and opening it for the first time, like a first impression. That that's how sales conversations go. You have one first impression, and so they sent this box to people to see what it'd be like. You can see here's the card that they got in the box with a bunch of other swag and stuff like that in the box. And here's the post. So these people were chosen and sent the box, obviously recorded a video, and then published it all in the same day and tagged Win.ai. I'll show you one more here. There's some headphones that they got. Also, it's funny, and we'll talk about this, but one of the comments on this post is, "Are these noise canceling headphones to get rid of the music from the card?" Which I think is good thing
It's
and a
great.
bad thing.
The conversation around the actual gift and the execution of it, and it'd be interesting as we dig into this more of pros and cons of is bad things that people comment on, is that actually a bad thing, or does it create more discussion, and is more discussion a bad thing to happen?
Yes, yes. They say, any PR is good PR, not necessarily bad.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely. So that was pretty cool. And
yeah.
then also, what ended up happening, what I think is the funniest part of this whole story, is this guy over here, Joey, made a post, and you can see here he has like a USPS box, and he pretends to be unboxing this Win.ai thing, but he didn't get one. He just got a random box, and you'll see here he opens it. He's like, "Oh, what's in the box? I'm so excited!" And he pulls it out, and it's a piece of paper, and you can see what it says here in a second. And he looks at it and it just says, "Get back to work." And this really hit me because everyone kept seeing this Win.ai thing all day, on their feed. And it
Uh-huh.
almost feels like the posts were staggered that all these influencers were posting about it. And then Joey just, congrats to Joey. I mean, I think he just wins LinkedIn for the day, rides that trend. And, Ryan Reynolds calls this fast advertising, moving fast on a trend, and makes this parody post. And you can see here 125 likes, 85 comments, and a lot of people just saying, "Great job. You have won the internet by
Oh
doing this."
wow. That is, and even tags Winn.ai, and then they comment on it. The courier keeps mixing up our packages. Let's fix this. Oh my God! So to create that viral. So I can imagine if we look now for a second at expectations. Well, like what were they expecting to happen from this campaign? First thing I think about, yeah, generating just massive viral awareness that they
Yeah.
exist.
Totally. Like you said, you and I both had not heard of Winn.ai before this. And now if someone mentions Winn.ai, I definitely have a connection point, an anchoring point to who they are, what they've done, and some positive feelings about them. I'm not in sales, but they sent a bunch of people who I know something nice. And so that built some goodwill for me to say, hey, they did something cool and fun and useful.
Goodwill through there. So I imagine then the next thing that come out of this, if I was them, I'd be like, all right, am I going to look for an increase in searches for my brand? So like a Google
Mm,
search of trending of
yes.
Win.ai. I mean, we were just Googling it, checking it
Yes.
out. So
Yes.
I'd like to think that would happen.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think if I launch this campaign, certainly I'd be wondering this will increase our visibility, more people will hear about us, we'll have perhaps more inbound as a result, as you said. Maybe we'll get some more signups or demos booked, or I think that's ultimately the outcome of any campaign is does this lead to a positive impact in the business? So I think that would certainly be what I'd expect to have happen.
And then the
I would
ultimate, drive
Yeah,
more
I would
signups.
not expect a parody. So I think that was unexpected. And
Oh,
kudos
yes.
to Win, as you mentioned, that they did respond and engage with Joey. But I
Mhm.
saw a second post too of someone else doing a similar parody. And I think some people kind of felt left out as a result. But yeah, I don't think that was an expectation they had of people will try to parody us. But like you said, maybe it's a good thing that it went viral enough that people
Is
saw it and could parody it.
is that a measure of success if people start creating parodies off of it?
Maybe. Maybe it should be.
I
I
I
love
feel
it.
like that's happened for some other negative campaigns, which maybe
Yes.
we'll break those down another time.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal for sure, yeah, is driving more signups. Whether that happened or not, we can't tell. But let's look at what we see as reality of
Yeah.
good and bad
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, one of the interesting things you saw in the comments there was the card. So everyone got this card, and it was really nicely packaged. I think people liked receiving the package. It seemed like everyone was really positive about it. But the card had this like kind of obnoxious music or sound to it, and so people were commenting about that. That's one thing. But it seems like generally a great job for Win to coordinate this, and everything happened at the same time. All the posts were made the same day. It was you couldn't not be on LinkedIn, and you couldn't be on LinkedIn and not see it. So I think it was a huge success from that perspective of reality of what actually happened.
All those pieces come together. All right, should we? Is there anything else should we break down of either what expectations or reality
Yeah.
here?
I think there's one more piece, which is, the box had this confetti in it also. And you can
Oh,
see in some of the posts that the influencers didn't know that or weren't aware of that, to their credit. And so they would dump out all the stuff they got because the box was filled with a bunch of cool stuff. But they also dumped out all the confetti. And I don't know about you,
it's
but if you ever get a
oh,
box of
it's everywhere.
confetti, it's hard to clean up. So,
I I fear I've seen some YouTube videos. I'm trying to remember the guy that he's an engineer and he created confetti bomb.
Art
People were stealing his
Rober.
packages. Yes,
Yes.
and so and I think there's even there was I don't know if they're still around. It was a parody, but not a parody. Like you could order one of these cards to send to your enemy, and they would open it up, and the
Um,
card would just explode confetti everywhere. So I feel like there's a negative connotation to
yeah.
confetti that
Yes.
they were using, which created some negative.
Yeah, and that's what's so funny about it. To your point, Alex, is that the campaign, as we saw, like in the box, it says some moments in sales, some moments are irreversible, and it was this idea of this like first impression. And one of the people who actually posted about getting the box said, "Rumor has it I'm still vacuuming the confetti off the desk and floor 5 hours later." So I think it was definitely like, yeah, some moments are irreversible, especially if you put so much confetti in the box. So great execution overall, but a few things that maybe they'll learn a lesson for next time, and that we can learn a lesson for all of us, so that we learn not to put confetti in the box.
Yeah, just digital confetti only. No
Yes,
real confetti,
yes.
please.
One more final thing I'll just mention as a slight negative here is in any campaign like this, it's unavoidable that some people feel left out. You
Yeah.
can't send a box to everybody, and so as a result, some people are left out, and some people felt as if, why didn't I get a box, or why didn't I, did I not have a big enough following, or whatever. And I don't think that's a problem for Win. I think they did a great job with it, but I think that some people will always feel that way. It's hard to launch a campaign like this and not be able to include everybody.
Yes, yeah. The potential negative from there, but overall, that doesn't probably affect their campaign performance.
Yes.
The benefit though was the parodies. Yeah, for sure. As you mentioned, the person
Yeah.
creating it, that's virality, additional benefit coming from that.
Yes, more pointing back to Win. And you commented that Joey tagged Win and that Win commented there. So I think that had they not engaged with his parody post, they would have missed the moment. But they were able to lean in, laugh at themselves, and have a good time and get more attention for themselves and for Joey. So a win for everybody. No pun intended.
There's a lot of puns that could be made about their name. They're probably rolling with that. Um, cool. Well, maybe we should give our score, our breakdown of how we rate this. Do you want to explain our the way we look at campaigns?
Totally. Yeah, we have a rubric here we put together to decide, how do we look at the campaign? How would we grade this? And as we stack it down. So there's a couple of factors you'll see. I'll run through them quickly for you, just so you have a high level. Freshness. How fresh is this campaign? Is this a new idea we've never seen before? Or is this something that's kind of classic and been done before? Timeliness. Is this something you do once, or is it something you can do evergreen? The vibes of it. Were people generally happy? Was it well received or not? How polished was it? Was it high production quality, or was it quick and dirty? Return on effort. How much effort put into it, and how much return was the result? And lastly, distribution. Does this have a wide reach, or does it have a narrow focus?
Breakdown. All right, so let's give our score, and I've got some visual. I'm going to pull it up of our what we're thinking. We talked about pre-show, but so let's start with freshness. Was it retro or forward thinking? We rated it. Tim, you rated forward thinking. I decided retro. Why did you think it was forward thinking?
Yeah, I think this is something that is forward thinking, particularly in the B2B SaaS space, like sending people a box. And I think it's forward thinking in the sense that, I can see your perspective of retro, but I think this is become a new thing again. That when we think of SaaS, we think of digital. Being physical is one of the last things on our mind. So in that sense, I think it's counterintuitive, if that makes sense. And from that perspective, I think it is somewhat forward thinking.
For me, I say retro because like who gets boxes anymore? It's going back in time. It's kind of and some of the style, maybe not completely like 80s style and everything retro,
Yeah,
but looking backwards or using older techniques to me is that retro. All right, let's look
I
at
think
the
you're
next
right.
piece.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, timeliness.
Hmm.
So we both agreed here. I don't think there's much of an evergreen effort aside from a few other weird folks like us commenting on it a little bit after the fact. They're
Yeah.
not going to get much additional reach.
I think that's right, and they could do it again, but it would lose some of its value from repeating it. So I think you're absolutely right. One off makes the most sense.
And we've got our next one here, which is
Vibes, yeah,
vibes. Mixed or good. Yeah, we both. I mean, there are some good vibe, but not all of them. So looking at the comments,
yeah. It was a little bit hard to see that some of the people who received the box and posted about it, even saying, tongue in cheek or slightly negative things about the experience. Especially, I think it just made it worse that the presentation was like you only have one first chance, kind of. And so the irony there was definitely palpable. So yeah, I think vibes are mixed. Not bad, but definitely a few
that
snags.
along with the parodies, not everyone got a package, etc. So it was kind of like
Yeah.
another more tongue in cheek, but it's
Yes.
good. Polish, yeah, lo-fi. It wasn't a large cinematic production going on here, and I think that worked in its favor.
I
That
think
user
so.
generated.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was nice. The stuff that they got was high quality and polished itself. The swag, the headphones, the little vacuum thing, useful stuff. But yeah, not difficult to put together and not too expensive. So I think it was definitely lo-fi.
Yeah, it worked well. Return on effort. Return on effort. Waste or worth it? We both say worth it. In my head I put maybe on this because we don't really know how much reach did they get. We see some of the comments. I mean, what is your thoughts, Tim? Can you unpack why you said worth it?
Yeah, I think you made a really good point early on in our conversation about this that we both hadn't heard about Winn.ai, but after this we have. And so I think that is worth its weight in gold, that regardless of whatever else happened, I know of this company now that I had no idea existed before. So I think definitely worth it from that perspective, and everything else is kind of gravy.
Yes, yes. It's just the fact that we know about it now and we didn't before makes it worth it in my mind for capturing that awareness. Last one, distribution. Yeah, very focused. It's just LinkedIn, right? I think you only saw.
Yeah, I think it was just LinkedIn people and a couple big name people on LinkedIn, some smaller people on LinkedIn, but yeah, it seemed like it was just LinkedIn, which I think is probably where their audience is.
Yeah, yeah. All right, our final scores: 1 out of 10. Uh, I like to go my fractions here. Why'd you give it a 6 though?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things to improve, and I think that there were some snags in the process and in that kind of testing or thinking it through fully. So I think it could have done more. Could have had more reach. Could have been more positively received, and could have driven more outcomes. And we can talk about that. So I think for me, it was good, solid effort, but could have been bigger. Could have been better.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.8 because I feel like it was very close to that 7, 8 of like, man, this is good, this is solid.
Yeah.
A few things that they could kind of improve upon. But let's unpack that of what we might have done. Any comments on that? One thing is we were like a clear call to action. I think that was missing.
Yeah.
Of like next step, right?
It was so surprising that in all the posts that the influencers made, there was no link, there was no call to action. It wasn't go follow Win, go visit their page, here's a discount code, here's a free trial, book a demo. There was no call to action whatsoever. And I feel like, this is my perspective, I'd love to know yours, Alex, that as marketers, we're hesitant to, like, it's this whole like, don't gate your stuff. But if you don't, you won't get people to raise their hand. And I think at some point we need to ask people and tell them what to do. And then, I'm not saying you should send people to a form that has like, give me your social security number, but you should ask people to at least go follow us on LinkedIn or look forward to the next thing coming out. I think there should be some action that we're asking people to take.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. I think like, there wouldn't have been any drawback to have just even a simple one to go
Yeah,
follow. It doesn't have to be the hard push
right.
for a sales call, but I think that's a missed opportunity. Now
Yeah,
they could a smart tactic would be to pay attention, their sales folks, all those who commented or liked, and follow up with them, and maybe
yes,
even remarket if they have that ability on LinkedIn. I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah,
Maybe they are, or maybe they did. Yeah, I hope so. But I think to your point, even like tagging, like having a thing that says tag a salesperson who needs to see this, to bring even more awareness into leveraging that post by the influencer. I think there's a lot of little easy things they could have added that would have made this, 50%, if not more, reach, visibility, and action.
but a good campaign.
Yeah, overall,
uh,
really cool to see. People liked
yes.
it. The influencers liked it. It got some good comments and things that can be, now like you said, people can be followed up with and remarketed to on LinkedIn. So I think a success overall, a success, a solid 6.8. We'll average them. We'll never give it a 6.6 or something like that. I think it's pretty good. Like you said, pretty close to that sweet spot of the 7.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us for our B2B campaign Smackdown. We got another episode coming up, but before we talk about that, if you want to know more about the advisory board, Tim, you want to tell them where to find and who can benefit from that?
Yeah, the advisory board is a coaching group for marketing directors. So if you're a marketing director looking for peer support, accountability, training skills, and all that, then follow me on LinkedIn for all the details on the advisory board.
And if you need help with B2B video testimonials, come check us out at terraleap.io, or follow me on LinkedIn. Got some good content. But next time, we got another great campaign we're going to be smacking down. Tim, can you give us a teaser of what to expect?
Oh, this is a good one. I think we have some homework to do ourselves here, but we're going to be taking a look at a campaign that has parodied a major motion picture movie to see if it was a success or if it bombed.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. This is going to be good.
It's going to be awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Take care.